Okay.
Hello, all you wonderful beings out there, and welcome to the stream. I am Raw Zim, currently as Asher the Labramon. And today we are doing some development work on our Scar system, while we are also... We've got, the duck game here, you know, because we always have to have that at this point. And also we've got Wicked Whiskers here working on art in the bottom left. To answer the question that you had there, TD. Hello there, Orca. A holy ring is it's a very powerful thing that some Digimon have on various parts of their body. It gives them a lot more power. I don't really remember the full details of the Holy Ring right now, but yeah. Yes, Whiskers is here.
Yay, Whiskers.
I still love these freaking plushy drops. So freaking cute.
Abnormal vibrations detected.
Oh, we are back. And I'm back.
Welcome back. So, one thing I did get done last night, off stream, is a new story. Because for those that don't know, I have been doing, stories at the beginning of each chapter. Or at least that's the plan to do. I haven't actually done that many, come to think of it, but the plan is to do them for every chapter. I did one for... Actually, I did two for the first chapter, because, you know, we got the, two different things going on there. And I don't... Yeah, I did also write the one for chapter 2, but I haven't written any others. But I did finally write one for chapter 9. Scar's Creature Journal. It's gonna basically be the, it's gonna be the bestiary for the book. Because we are gonna have our own critters for the Scar system.
Quack.
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 Back.
How many ducks?
So,
Yes?
you're still gonna have your own critters, but you
Yeah.
can also still use this Scar system for like Pokemon Digimon still, right?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't make a very good system if if we were like, yep, you have to use this with Pokemon and Digimon
Oh, yeah.
and such. We have nothing of our own foundation.
Yeah, that sounds pretty bad if you put it that way.
Like, they're making a magic system as well, so, yeah.
Yeah, and it's also why there's going to be Pokemon supplement eventually.
Yeah, we'll have a supplement for Pokemon, Digimon, and other franchises. Basically just adapting things to those franchises. The Pokemon one, they're going to be rather small for supplements. It's basically going to be like, okay, in this system, you actually, when playing as Pokemon, you actually have the Pokemon types. Here they are. And here's how the base system translates to Pokemon.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's probably also going to be something about abilities in there.
Yes. We've decided not to go with abilities ourselves, but yeah, we will have abilities in the supplement.
Alright, I'm gonna start my own stream now.
Pyroclast is a pretty
good.
decent design, TD.
Pyroclast is boring.
I feel like I missed a joke here.
No, it was just me reacting.
Ah, okay.
It's adorable.
Alright. Here we go.
Oh.
Hi,
Hey,
Sky.
Hello, Volley Nuggies.
Hello, Lemon Moth.
Oh yes, I do have one.
Gimmon_1 wants Sky to know he's a pretty bird. Oh yes, he is.
I
Such
don't
a
hear it on
pretty
the
birdie.
Discord, but I see the car being played.
Ah, yes, I am a pretty bird.
Thank you, Ido, for lurking.
Maybe TD, man, that's because Ren does have a very cute voice.
Yeah. I do
Why?
not.
Why?
I do not have a cute voice.
Oh no, you're proving yourself wrong right there.
How?
Like that.
But. Oh, thank you for the lurk, Candy Floss.
I mean, you're an adorable
I can dance on
weasel.
the head of a pin as well.
Hey Jimond_, you have been given an AMP and V pack through Streamloots by Riddy. Good luck.
Thank you.
Aw.
What's up? Oh, okay, I see. Hi, Zealant. Or Zolet. Man, I'm so bad.
Zola, yeah.
Yeah, Zolet.
There we go, the best plushie.
And the game's not here.
Well, hello there, Taudarius.
Yellow.
Oh, hey, Tao. I was just getting things pulled up and contemplating how to put the weapon stuff in here. Though, I did want to read off the new story I wrote for the book.
Oh,
Alright.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Hello, world? Or would it be worlds? Realities? Either way, the name's Scar. Scar the Kobold. I'm a porter, and I'm here to record my discoveries from across these realities and things that I've discovered and encountered. I really hope this gets noticed someday, and I didn't deal with all of these creatures trying to rip my limbs from my body or rope me into joining their hive or so on for nothing. Anyways, I should probably start off by describing this first creature I found. A little red-scaled kobold looked up from the journal he was writing in, giving a small stretch as he gazed across the cave he had decided to set up camp in for the night. Scar had no idea where this short humanoidish creature came from. One second he was setting out his bedroll and lighting his campfire, entirely alone. The next second, there was this rather garishly painted wagon with he thinks they're called a gnome? Either way, this short creature was standing in front of the wagon wearing a purple coat with a large purple top hat resting atop his white-haired head. The newcomer watched the kobold and puffed away on a pipe. The two had been in this staring contest for a few minutes until Scar decided to start writing in his journal, his first entry of many. The creature didn't seem to be hostile at least, but he still glanced up frequently as he wrote. He smiled when he finished that first paragraph, his tail whipping back and forth happily despite himself. He read the passage and contemplated if it was too premature to write that he's made discoveries like that, or if he may die after trying to talk to this gnome. Caught up in his thoughts, he didn't realize the gnome was next to him until he spoke. Ah, so that's what you are doing so far from home, Scar nearly jumped out of his scales as he saw the gnome reading over his shoulder, scampering a few feet away. Oh, come now, little one. You will not get very far on your goal if I am enough to frighten you, the old gnome said with a warm, almost fatherly smile. Scar looked suspiciously with narrowed eyes between the wagon on the other side of the cave still, and the gnome that had just appeared next to him. He finally cleared his throat and stopped hyperventilating for a moment. Right, yeah, you did in front of me. I'm a mighty warrior, and I was just getting to a more tactically viable position. Yep! The small lizard gave his fiercest smile, though it was clear the gnome wasn't buying a bit of it. In response, the gnome simply sat down next to the fire, waved a hand, and before Scar's eyes, a cooking spit materialized out of nowhere, complete with an already boiling pot, from which an unbelievably delectable scent was wafting. The kobold's stomach growled hungrily at that, but still watched with caution as bowls appeared with a spoon stirring the pot on its own, and then scooping a heavy helping of that hearty stew into each bowl. The bowls floated to the mammal and reptile as the gnome settled down on a stool that wasn't there before and smiled over at Scar. Well, why not dig in, Scar? It looks like you could certainly use a good meal out there. No, do not bother trying to argue. I can see your pack is rather empty, and I know you have been more lost than not. The gnome sipped some of the stew before he continued. Lucky for you, I came across your story, and I could be persuaded to assist you. I have been writing this little guide for travelers like yourself, and I could use a tester such as yourself. With that, a book floated out of the gnome's coat pocket and over to the kobold. The gnome puffed on his pipe as he watched the now bewildered kobold process everything. Scar spoke up finally. Help? How did you know that? How'd you know my name? The book was blank when Scar first looked at it, but as he touched the tome, Scar showed up on the cover in gold lettering. Ah, yes, I am Greaves, and have I got a deal for you?
I spent most of that confused why this was a story about someone who just moved shit around, and then I remembered that we were calling them porters.
Yes. Hello,
What a nice
Cosmo.
intro, though. That was really good.
Yes, that was nice.
I mean, you're welcome to, Era. Hello, Merle.
Yeah. Come on in, sir.
And hi, Rex. I know you came home during the middle of that, but hi.
Mm.
Hey, Zolette.
Quack.
Quack.
Quack, quack. Oh, I had the legendary noise.
But yeah, that is the story for our bestiary. And Scar the Kobold's heading up this chapter with, writing about his discoveries.
That's a really neat way to do it. I like it.
Most
The
of
only
the
thing I'm iffy on is having it literally a character named Scar.
So,
Oh, it's his system.
oh, it's part of the deal.
What do?
The deal Greaves made with Scar.
Oh.
I still just don't like it when, like, there's a main character and, like, it happens to have the same name as, like, the system. Or, like, anything like that. This is just a personal thing that I don't like, though.
Well, to be fair, the only place that he's got in here is Chapter 9. For the bestiary. Plus,
So
it's going to be
there...
It's also going to be a nice breath of fresh air because Greaves specifically does not use contractions ever. And so writing all of this so far, I keep writing it a contraction and then be like, right, no contractions. Backspace, backspace, backspace.
I didn't know you didn't use contractions. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. It's a subtle thing, but yeah, if you look through the book, there might be a couple that slipped past my original, Oh yeah, there are a few that slipped past. I'll go fix those later. But yeah, most of the book does not have a single contraction. Very specifically.
Cute.
Greaves does like to make deals. And an important part about deals is making absolute certain that wording is correct. Alright, see you later, TD.
What else? I had to do freeze. How do we do that again?
You would like to buy Val.
I do have a question. Is there gonna be like a little story snips for every chapter, or
Yes.
only
Yeah.
certain chapter?
All of them. It's just that we're supposed to be leaving it for last because it's just fluff stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's something that I don't emphasize working on, but it basically, whenever I get the inspiration to, I'm gonna pump them out.
Got it.
My ADHD makes it so I can only work on... I get inspiration to work on things, I go work on that thing. Trying to force it means I'm gonna burn out and not want to keep working on anything at all. So, that's why I kind of jump around a lot on what I work on. Much to certain people's ire. Definitely not looking at Taldarius with that.
Yeah.
Hey, we are overall getting closer to the end.
Yeah, but that is not the point. You can't just fuck off from all the important stuff and go, well, it's technically getting closer because it have to be done anyway. We have priorities for a reason.
Well, yeah, but it's still getting done.
We have
I mean-
priorities for a reason.
Hey, have you scrolled through this document in a while?
Yes. I try to read through it once a month.
I'm talking about in the last week or so.
Oh, in that case, no, because normally I do so near the end of the month in order to go. All right, hey, what did we do this month ish? So no, I have not looked at it in like a little bit over like 3 weeks probably.
Tal, are you sick again?
No, it's just that for some reason my stomach decided to kill me last night after I got off, so I didn't get to sleep until like 3, and then I wake up at 6:30 for work, and then I worked all day.
Oh.
So I'm just tired.
Oh, yeah.
That's... Oh.
But yeah, I have gotten a lot of work done this month, though. Like, seriously, a lot. I finished the rewrite of the specialties section. I moved the adjusted costs up to where it should have been all along under character advancement. Because, well, that's, it's something more for everything, not just specialties. You know, I finished the move traits. I've been a busy worker this month. And now
Oh god.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and now I'm hoping to get the weapon system done before the end of the month.
Yep, which is actually what I've been working on for a little bit here. I was actually going to ask, because I am going through listing, like, writing out costs for things and all that shit. Do we want, weapons to be able to do things like apply conditions and like stat changes without, like, just as a basic thing?
Yes.
Like how moves can. Alright, that's what I thought. I wanted to make sure.
Were we planning on doing it the same way we're doing moves, or were we planning on doing it restricted, more like magic items typically work in other systems?
That is something that I wanted to discuss. My plan, what I'm currently thinking of for weapons, is they're gonna have each individual weapon is going to be limited on what can be applied to said weapon. It's basically the weapon cannot necessarily get better in most cases with most traits than what it was built to be able to do. However, for the individual character to utilize those various functions is where the XP cost for weapons are going to come into play. So, like a polearm, yeah, it's capable of using reach, but unless you invest the XP for reach into it, you're not going to be able to actually use the reach properly until you have done so. Because there is a different fighting style to, using a polearm to stab something farther away than just standard fighting.
So we're treating these like legacy weapons to a degree.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent way to put it, yeah.
Yeah, and so also that's why I made that system where it's like, in the system we have the minimum XP potential and the max XP potential for the thing, because that will be the range that each individual weapon will have as its potential.
Were we still planning on doing the properties thing that we had already started?
Yeah, so I was planning on doing that. In fact, I actually had the properties up, and I have a thing that I was putting together that I was going to be like, okay, so this is X, Y, or Z thing. I'm just obviously focusing on everything that's on armor, or on weapon, not like armor or accessory, on our listing. And I'm like, okay, is this something that I can just include straight up as an equivalent or something similar to that? Like, I don't know now if we need to include, like, superior or inferior, because I feel like superior and inferior is just going to be based on where it is on the range of the EXP potential for a weapon of that type and tier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which I understand, but at the same time, those could be GM factors for letting players have things a little bit higher or a little bit less high from dungeon material.
Yeah, so
that's all.
I do like the idea of a inferior and superior version for each tier, basically, where it can have, like, the baseline is for standard, but inferior might have a lower minimum XP, and superior might have a higher cap
Than otherwise normally capable of.
Yeah. Like, a superior one might be able to let you have more accuracy with it, kind of thing.
We just have to key phrase it to make sure that the superior and inferior dictates exactly where it's superior at, I guess, in that particular system.
Yeah, so maybe, like, we could call it superior quality or inferior quality. That way it's it's not just overall, it's just it has one thing that it is better at.
Yeah, that would be fine.
I did want to keep in stuff like durable and flimsy with it having, like, the weapon having, like, a durability rating, because, well, like, it's an external object. It kind of needs to have a health, even if it will almost never come up. Especially, part of the reason that I want to make sure we have that is just, oh, hey, we have stuff like the creative solution system that, like, specifically rewards doing things like targeting opponents, like, hurt areas and weaponry and, things of that nature.
No, it makes perfect sense, because sundering is a battle tactic that some people very much like doing if they can get away with it.
Yeah. So I was gonna... basically, I don't need to worry about that system, because it's basically just gonna be the same system as armor, which I'm going to basically go and say that should probably be our material system in general, which is physical negation, special negation, durability.
Yeah.
I don't need to worry about soak on that, because it's not meant to, like, protect things behind it. It's just, oh hey, here is object.
So we might want to consider throwing it in for specialty weapons that are typically used for bracing.
Yeah.
But that can come down the road. We don't need that right away because that's a very
Yeah.
That'll
Well-
become a common tactic for the people that do the dual wielding nonsense.
Yeah. One thing that I was going to be putting in is just, like, you know, also a shield section, because I feel like it makes more sense with the weapon, because you gotta, like, have it as, like, part of your hand. And also, shields were very commonly used offensively. But, basically, we already have the piecemeal armor system as a thing, so I don't think it'll cause too much issue to go, oh, hey, by the way, here's another piece of armor you could throw on. It doesn't break earlier or later than the rest of your armor. I guess unless you specifically want to sacrifice it or something, I don't know.
Quick thing. Era, your talkie is backwards.
Is it? Oh, I'll fix that in a second.
Oh no.
But, yeah, I'm gonna... Yeah. But...
Oh, by the way,
yeah, no,
Tal,
Yeah.
I need your ref sheet.
I think you already have my ref sheet. Like...
I need
just
it
sent it to you,
resent.
like... Okay, well, I thought I had it pinned for you.
Oh no, what are you gonna do to
No,
Tal?
maybe I didn't.
The same thing he's done to everybody.
Become duck.
Quack.
Quack.
Non-reactive.
Well, I mean, I also need it for his 3D model that he commissioned.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, come on.
I just resent it, and just in case, I'll just fucking end it. There you go. Have fun.
There we go. I think I got it fixed. There we go.
But-
reactive.
Yeah, we got I'm currently just kind of going through the keywords document and like figuring out which ones are still very like pertinent and relevant. But just specifically with the weapons rather than overall, because I know we made so many just for so much shit.
Yeah. But we can cross that bridge. Zim, did you already add the healing text in
Yes.
to the document yet? Okay, good.
Yeah,
'Cause I
that
remember we were
is
talking about that.
under combat, rolling for healing. Page 59.
Perfect.
Yeah, I added that in. I moved multi-attacks to being a maneuver instead.
Alright, makes sense.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Are we still having it at a one action, or has that been moved to two?
It should be a
It
2.
is a full
Okay,
action
good.
now.
Oh, you wanted to move it to a complete full action? Because I thought
Oh.
the compromise was the two separate actions, so they still had the quick.
I would rather have it be two separate, so... Alright, recurring two standard
Because
actions.
the thing is that we basically made it. The reason that we did that is because that way it'd be the same as combo. Because combo was also 2 standard actions.
Yeah, 2 standard actions feels better for that.
Especially because then that also means, like, you know, oh hey, you have amped. Then if you have 2 stacks of amped, you might just be able to, like, you know, do another attack round. Well, you can't repeat maneuvers, but oh well. You know what I mean, like in terms of like thinking about that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Actually,
you guys
do we have it
recently-
noted? That is something definitely to include. Let me put a note for that. Feels like something from one of these notes instead.
Also, sorry,
I
I'm
guess
just
you
trying to-
can technically repeat maneuvers so long as it's not defensive. So yeah, I guess it does work like that.
No, I like the idea of it only one per turn of each. Well, no, because then you can use. Yeah, actually, yeah. Movement is one that you can use multiple times.
Yeah, that's why
won't
we
have it
we
roll.
did the
Yeah.
thing with the defensive maneuvers specifically being non-repeatable. Because also I know you could strike twice a turn if you really want to. And
Yeah.
that's been a thing for a while in case you just wanted to remove enemy defense.
Yep. Also, sorry for spamming stuff out. I'm trying to clear my brain queue of things.
Pat her bam.
And I know there
Yeah.
was also the discussion on flying, and I don't know where that landed specifically yet.
Well, I know at least what we had a while ago was that, like, you know, they needed to take a certain amount of, it was, because it's a special movement speed, when you sprint, you only move it 3 times. If you're flying, you need to take a movement to maintain flight, if, like, you know, otherwise you start falling. And then I think it was you could use a bonus action to maintain your current position, because we also had it, like, I think at the time it was like, oh hey, if you use a bonus action, you can change, you know, your land speed to, like, you know, half of whatever your land speed is to climbing/swimming or whatever. So I think we gave flying hover as the equivalent of that for a bonus action. I can't quite remember though.
Okay, so we
So
might need to-
hover and flying are intended to be 2 separate movement types.
Yeah.
Flying can hover, but yeah, that requires some special stuff to it. But flying lets you
Yeah.
move further, but it's less controlled, whereas hovering is more controlled, but you can't move as far.
Yeah, but that I was just saying because I know we talked about a while ago about making it so that when you took a bonus action, you could get like half of your movement speed as swim speed. I think we gave flying that as an equivalency, just like as an equivalency. I think it was just to maintain place, but you know. But at least at the time, that was what we went with.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
So we'll have
Hi,
to
Brian.
we'll have to revisit then and fine tune it.
Hello, Brian.
Oh, and also hi, Brian.
Pat Brian.
Back.
Oh yeah, by the way, one thing that I did actually remove from weapons when it came to like conditions and all that was like, you know, protected, insulated, and teleport.
Yeah, there are some traits that will not be. Weapons are going to have their own traits to them.
Yeah.
There's going to be some crossover, but I do want to have its own table, just for the sake of making sure that, you know, weapons have their own capabilities. I don't want them to be the same as everything else.
Yeah. Well, I am working on a like weapon like table thing where like I'm just like, oh hey, here's something that I think we can keep. Also, it's just basically a copy paste of the thing, and I've
Hi, Salt.
basically been completely like removing like a lot of stuff because I'm like, oh hey, that don't make no sense there.
By the way, real quick, everybody, even though Salt has achieved that 50 follower goal for this week, which thank you again so much for that, do remember to go follow Salt and lurk for them when they're streaming, and Ren as well. I believe, Ren, you're currently streaming, yes?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Ren and Salt both need more viewers to get them to affiliate, so please go lurk for them. Ren, like I said, is currently streaming, so go on over, lurk for him, please. Let's get both of them to affiliate. And like I was saying with Salt, sometimes people unfollow, so let's make sure that Salt does get that affiliate by getting over the 50.
Thank you,
The more
Master.
the merrier.
Alright, back to what you were saying, Tao.
So I have basically, like, I copied down, like, the current, like, I know it's slightly outdated, but just to get something, the move cost stuff on the whip sheet. And, like, I just removed, like, a lot of stuff that wouldn't make sense for it being on weapons, like, you know, cost exhaustion to use, or heal power.
I
Like,
could...
those...
So, on that front, I will say I could see a trait for weapons where... specifically two-handed weapons. You know, heavy weapons, rather. Where, yes, they can use exhaustion for it, but it will be more of a... That's when they're trying to use it with a single action type thing.
Yeah, so I'm not saying, like, there won't be anything there at all. I'm just talking about, like, you know, remove it from the general pool.
Fair.
Yeah, so, like, other things that I've removed includes, like, you know, what was it? Draining over time. The AoE stuff, like Line, Cone, and Sphere.
Actually... Well, there are more things that... So as far as that goes, they're gonna operate differently. But... Actually, I can see arguments for some of those remaining.
One thing that I am considering is that we do explicitly have rules for things like, oh, hey, if you want to use a weapon and... like, move with the same attack.
Yeah, we definitely want that. What I am thinking in regards to that would actually probably fall under the martial arts system. I plan to call it primal arts. But basically that'll be for, you know, brawling type thing. Or not brawling, but, you know, actual trained martial arts. Karate and whatnot. Krav Maga, I think, is another one of them. But also it'll include rules for weapons where, yeah, that kind of stuff will fall into that category. So, yeah, it would be best not to bother putting them with weapons.
Yeah, like, part of the thing that I'm doing here is just being like, okay, I could definitely see an argument for, like, being allowed to put things on there, but, like, as a part of, like, a general basis, I'm like, alright, so we have a system where... Also, we really need to come up with a good name for it, because, like, I just call it self-combo, but, like, you know, that's kind of an... We're not using that, that's just asinine, that's just me to myself. Where it's like, you know, I feel like weapons and moves should be comparable in power, but each have their own, like, you know, benefits and things that they get a lot easier, so also there's a reason to want to combine your character using moves and weapons, if at all possible. Like, not as a requirement, but like, oh, hey, you want to get this thing and this thing. Well, there's you know, mechanics in place that you could get this. And then if you really don't want to use this or that thing, like, you know, hey, talk with your storyteller. But, you know,
yeah.
It's like... Because, like, I feel like weapons, just as a general thing, it should be a lot harder for them to get things like, you know, AoE, multi-target, things of that nature. Meanwhile, moves feel like they would benefit from that a lot easier.
I agree. And the primal arts are where those kinds of things, those kinds of specialty things will come into play. Yeah,
because, like, you know, I could totally see a very easy argument for going, hey, I have this move where, like, you know, it shoots out in a 20-foot line. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this crossbow and I'm gonna, like, you know, combine it with this crossbow shot, and now it starts like 70 feet away and then travels for 20 more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just noticed the time and I should be in bed. I'm gonna go.
Sleep well.
Have a good night.
Good night, Sir Arabane, and good night, all the adorable nubs.
Yeah.
Pat pat.
Hello there, Lexi. Thank you very much for that raid. Welcome in, everybody. You guys have come into our DevTales stream, where we're working on our Scar system. We also have Whiskers here doing art, and also happy birthday, Lexi.
Let's see.
So, do want to ask, do we want weapons to be able to do things like have innate lifesteal on them?
I'm gonna say no by default. Again, that'll be something that falls into the primal arts.
Yeah. So, in terms of general effects that I think are fine to keep, obviously just base power, like that's just bread and butter. Guaranteed damage, I think keeping that is also fine. Basically just going, hey, this weapon like has like a raised like minimum, effectively, especially because it does take 2 power cap. Damage over time, because that's effectively our bleed and things like that. So I'm fine with letting weapons bleed effectively. The one that I'm more iffy on is building power with consecutive uses, but also, like, I don't feel strongly enough to have, like, removed it already.
On that one, I feel like if you're going to put it on anything, it would be on, like, 1 or 2 weapon types, and that's it. You
Yeah.
might wanna,
That could be something
like,
exclusive for heavies.
yeah, or bludgeoning, specifically, or what have you.
I will say we are not separating out weapons into, like, they'll have those damage types, but, well, yeah, we can just separate that out. Some traits can be applied only to bludgeoning, some to slashing. Yeah. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah. So I know we did that originally with basic type, where, like, you know, it had the 3 different things, and then we just kind of phased it out because no one gave a shit.
I want to still have something for that. I just don't know the best way to implement it.
Yeah.
Because I definitely still want to have a setup where some weapons do, or each type can have its own strengths and weaknesses when it comes to slashing, bludgeoning, and piercing, though I'm leaning more towards that being a situation of it's up to the individual creature rather than overall.
Well, it might be wise just to include for weapon properties specifically, because as I said, I could see damage over, or increasing damage over time on like a bludgeoning weapon. I wouldn't necessarily see that on like a dagger, for instance.
Yeah.
And that way you could turn around and put bleeding specifically on something that's a light weapon that's specifically slashing or possibly specifically piercing.
Yeah.
This'll
And without
give
it being, like, you know, hard lock, it's like with everything else, it'll be like, hey, talk to your steward. That way, if you want to have, like, hey, I want to play a character that has, like, this big old serrated axe.
Yeah.
Good night, Lexi.
They don't have to be hard rules, but just base rules
Guideline.
where these things typically have these. And that way, those weird arse weapons end up being more special, too.
Yeah.
Jump it.
So, like, I was kind of fine keeping it there, and then, like, we'll just reword it.
Yeah.
Accuracy, just kept that. I feel like I was unsure about bypass accuracy on weapons as a base thing.
Personally, I think that would be a no pass, but I don't know how Zim feels.
For what exactly?
Bypass accuracy.
No.
Weapons. Yeah, that's what I thought, but I just wasn't too sure about it. Reach obviously kept that because polearms were. Ranges kept that because, you know, makes sense. Instead of probably per attributes, it's probably going to be based on, you know,
manufactured.
Yeah, it's going to be based on the probably the baseline is just going to be type and tier. Increased crit chance, I'm fine with that. It only affects accuracy, so.
Yeah, that's another one that you could probably, quote unquote, soft limit to
Yeah.
certain types.
But I'm fine just having it be there.
Yep.
Knockback. Also, there's going to be like the trip/knockdown. You know, like all that. The more maneuvery things. Those feel very much so what weapons would like. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, repeat that?
So what I was saying was, stuff like knockback, knockdown/trip/ whatever it's called. Those sort of like, more maneuvery type things definitely seem like what things that weapons would probably be like, like a lot. As like base modifiers that they could just get.
So you're saying no to having things like knockback on weapons?
No, I was saying that those seem like things that weapons would love, so like obviously I was just
Okay,
keeping them on
yeah. Sorry, my brain was just not following that for some reason. Yeah, I agree. Those are definitely very much weapon things.
On pretty much everything else in the general move effects, I felt like they were not exactly things that should be on weapons. Like, for example...
One sec, sorry.
I'm going to be right back really quickly. I'm going to step outside. I will still be able to hear, though.
Alright.
Okay. Yeah.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Welcome back.
What were you saying?
Oh, I was saying, like, most of the other stuff that is on moves, interestingly enough, I feel like doesn't fit weapons very much. That would be, like, obviously the AoE things, the costing of health to use, the changing of types.
Yeah, I agree on those.
Yeah. From conditions, I'm just kind of gonna keep a lot of them for now. Unless we want to like fine-tooth comb them. But I did remove things that were under the conditions area, like, protected, insulated, teleport.
Makes sense.
And besides that, what I was thinking is that for like, the more special things, we could decide if it would, because this is something that me and Era kind of did, decide if it belongs best gated behind certain tiers. Like, for example, I know that we made it so aspected, which is if it has, like, a certain type to it, instead of it just being basic, is gated behind it being at least a tier 2 weapon.
That makes sense.
So, obviously, if it's tier 4, it can kind of just have what it wants. Congratulations, you have a legendary weapon, like, cool. But, like, for example, having, like, a fully sentient weapon would be, like, a tier 3 weapon thing.
I do have a suggestion on some of the conditions. We might want to go through with fine cone to a degree,
Yeah, I was thinking
and lock some of them behind aspected.
Yeah.
or something adjacent.
Yeah, we can fine tooth comb those, but I do want to do something really quickly so that way I could just keep working on this when you guys have game in a tiny bit.
Okay.
So I just want to go through a couple of keywords that are for weapons and just mark out, oh hey, this is something that we think should be always available, like tier 1, sometimes available tier 2, or be very rare, which would be tier 3. Just like explaining what they did when me and Era kind of like threw them down and just make sure that this is all. Because like I want to start costing these out with XP.
Yeah.
So, aspected, we thought that would be a tier 2 thing. That is it having a certain elemental baseline. Like where it just is like a fire sword now. Does that sound correct to you?
Yes.
Alright, so, we also had dual aspected, which is locked behind tier 3, where it basically has two different damage types now. Elemental. Basically is like, oh hey, I want to, like, you know, just imagine, like, visually maybe, like, the swords from, like, Magic the Gathering, like the Sword of Feast and Famine and all that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Alright. We also had, Synergy, which was supposed to be something that works in tandem with something else and, gains benefits if it has it, so, like, you know, maybe having, like... Era, what was our example with that? Because I know we had a good one, and then I've forgotten it.
I don't remember the specific example, but I can always come up with the whole. If you have one blade, you have the other blade. They're meant to work together. What was that one weapon called that was basically two blades with a chain attaching them? I don't remember.
I don't remember. I mean, I was thinking of like, you know, a comma or whatever, where like, you know, it has the fucking ball at the end, but basically just going, oh hey, this is like bonus if you have this other thing that also has this trait.
Yeah.
Is that something that we want?
Yeah, I'm all for it.
We
A lot of
should
these
already give the
ideas,
example.
like right now, throwing a lot of these ideas at the board is welcome. We can go into more detail on how they're going to function or if we'll keep them later, but right now just gathering these ideas, throwing them at the board, seeing what sticks is the best way to go about it, I think.
Yeah, which is what I'm doing right now is like if it gets green light is like, yeah, this is something that like, you know, we're interested in pursuing as like a thing for it. I'm just marking in green on me and Era's sheet. I know you have the sheet, but I don't know if you have it up. You don't have it up.
I do not.
I know
I need a new link to it.
I'll get it, yeah.
Alright, so I know durable, flimsy, superior, inferior. Those are all things that we already greenlit.
Yeah, let's add. I'm gonna add in quality now, so that way we don't forget.
Yeah,
If I can spell, it'd be great too.
that would help. I don't know what activated is. Is that for...
That's like command words and stuff like that. It's effects that can be
Okay.
turned on and off. So it will,
Ah,
it will
okay.
only have its special feature if you tell it to have its special feature instead of always being on.
Okay.
Because if we don't have that, there's gonna always be that one person twirling around, you know, the flaming sword in the middle of a.
Yeah, just
Middle of a
fucking
field.
full-on God Emperor of Mankinding with the flaming sword.
Yep.
I mean, I'm fine with having command words. Reinforced / warded, vulnerable / susceptible. Those vulnerable. Obviously, that's not going to be on weapons, but I know that on weapons, what that would do is it would be better against certain damage, against certain types when dealing damage.
I don't know if we need those rules right now, though.
No, but I'm saying like that's the thematic of it.
Yeah.
So do we want that and aspected? Like basically having like, oh hey, this is an anti-water sword. It also happens to be lightning.
I'm good with both.
Yeah, it'd be fun to have them both. At least in armor would be fun to have them both. For weapons, it'd be interesting. I'd be interested to see how that works and how people use it. It'd essentially just be Bane then.
It effectively is, yeah.
Yeah.
At least for weapons, that was sort of the intent of it. Attuned. That is one where you have to spend a certain amount of time or meet certain requirements for the item to activate its special abilities. So, like, if it had aspected, it could be gated behind an attunement.
I am fine with that, but I don't know if I'll actually have a cost to it. Or maybe it might be, well, it might be a disadvantage.
It'd be a negative.
Very small one,
Yeah, it'd
but
be a discount, yeah. It'd be a small little discount. Adaptive as a tier 3, like this is, oh hey, like, you know, you could basically like transform the weapon.
Yeah.
But that's like a tier 3 if you want a bloodborne trick weapon around, sure, but you're gonna need a tier 3 weapon probably.
I definitely want you to go through this list and put in your suggestions for costs as well as tiers on them.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the tiers is the left thing. Tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. That's the check marks to the left of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just didn't lock the top part of the page yet because we're still adding more, and sometimes Google Docs likes to mess up the table if you do that.
Yeah, and we were messing around with it a lot. Cursed, I don't know if we want Cursed, considering we already have Bane items.
Well, Cursed was it hurts the user. In some way. Well,
yeah, but that's also what I'm talking about. Like, we have Bane items now as a base system thing.
True.
I can see Cursed being a thing here as well, because I do intend to put in actual magic weapons and such, not just the boons and banes. And Sentient would also be under the, magic items system.
Yeah, if it helps, under the J and K columns to the right of the description, that is if it's magical or mundane.
Ah, okay.
So, like, Sentient would be, like, is already listed as this has to be magical. Or tuned, it's already magical. Adaptive, it's already, like, a magic thing because you're transforming the fucking weapon. But we do want to at least, like, have Cursed as a...
Yes.
As a thing, then. Concealed, I think concealable is a fine thing to have, like, it gives you benefits when trying to hide it. I could totally see someone wanting to have a concealable, like, small dagger.
You gotta remember the comb dagger.
Yep. The little bit of a stiletto blade moment. I think that's fine. A bound weapon. Like, I'm fine with that.
I feel like that kind of falls under attuned.
Oh, no. Bound as in, like, link to user, as in, like, oh, hey, I can call this blade. It is bound to me.
Oh, okay. Then, yeah.
Like Soulbind in MMOs.
Okay. Make sure you put that in the description, then.
Yeah, we will. Provisional, that is not a weapon thing, so we can just skip that.
Yep.
I was like, morphic, this is being able to basically change the shape of the weapon or form of it without changing, like, you know, the base stats. It's like, you know, now I can use this with narrative thing, like, you know, oh, hey, I have this dagger that has morphic on it. Hey, I'm gonna make it really thin real quick, and I'm gonna use it as a lockpick.
Oh, that works.
That's the intent for things like that. Or going, oh, hey, this enemy was described as having, like, you know, a really small gap in their armor. So I'm going to thin down my blade and, like, stab there.
It would still remain a dagger. It's just a dagger that you can generically alter the shape of.
Yeah. So then there's twin, linked, dual, just whatever you want to describe that as, but, you know, like twin blades or whatever.
Yeah, I like that. Definitely like that.
Yep. That way, like, you know, you can have twin linked daggers or whatever, and, like, you know, if you lose one of the daggers, you're gonna be very sad. Heavy and light, this would be in terms of bulk. So, like, you know, if you have, like, it would either raise or reduce the amount of bulk that the weapon uses.
I don't know if that's really something that we, I don't know about that one. Like, what would a situation for those be?
Oh, just as a modifier on the base weapon itself.
Yeah.
So, like,
more or
going,
less. Go ahead.
It was basically intended to be, oh, hey, I have this heavy weapon, but it's really well made, so it has light on it, so it only takes up, like, 2 bulk. Even though it's, like, you know, a tier 3 heavy weapon.
Fair enough. Yeah, we can keep that.
And then, you know, light would, or heavy would be, like, you know, it just weighs more. It just changes the bulk.
Oh, hey, Octo.
Hey, Octo.
I'll check DMs.
Oh, hey, a duck.
Quack.
Quack.
Costly, this is, like, you know, it's basically like a curse, but only active when you're actively using it.
I can see that.
It's basically an active curse. Risky, volatile, reliable, things of that nature. These are various effects that affect, you know, like, risky, like, there'll be, like, an actual, like, sizable negative effect if you botch. Like, let's say, like, an experimental black powder weapon. Like, that shit's going to hurt if you botch it. It's probably going to break. Volatile is something where, like, you know, if you, I believe that one was, like, if you botch, you might hurt yourself and others.
Yeah, that was
Era.
the one that can basically explode.
Yeah, that, like, you know, it actually just, like, goes critical in the area. And then, reliable just, like, goes, oh, hey, like, you're firing this weapon, or you're trying to use this weapon, but, like, if you botch, it's not going to explode on you and break.
Nuclear launch detected.
Because, you know, obviously botches with weapons, one of the big things is your weapon's going to take damage. Reliable would just stop that from happening, but it's also a tier 3 effect. So I don't know if we want that tier 3, tier 2, but that was the original intent idea of this.
I think having reliable available to all tiers is fine.
Alright.
We might want to make it expensive then.
It doesn't make it unbreakable, it just makes it so that way, like, you're not going... It's a pretty nice effect, but it's not going to break the bank.
Yeah.
So we have incompatible and requisite. Incompatible just like makes it so that way it doesn't work if it has a certain thing, and then requisite only works if you have a certain thing. Like, requisite would be like, you must have a perform dance skill of 3 to use this weapon.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Incompatible is more of, I believe, it's more of a magical thing, where like, oh hey, like, if you have this thing, you just can't use the weapon.
Like, this sword, it may be a long sword, but you cannot be wielding a shield with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, or it doesn't like athletic people.
Yeah, or it's like,
Or
oh
magic
hey,
athletic people.
yeah, or it might be like, oh hey, this sword only works if you have 2 or less in empathic. This is like, an evil sword or whatever. It has some sort of incompatibility with certain things.
Yeah, I'm good with those.
Afflicting and backlash, those are kind of not gonna matter too much right now. Reach we're already fine with, but that's all that. Accurate and inaccurate, we already kind of have stuff. I'll label these as yellow, as we already have that. Fast and slow. Do we want to have fast and slow?
I'm going to say yes, but they're not going to have costs themselves. It'll function just like dynamic moves kind of do with, with dynamic moves. Or they can just choose that, yes, this is going to take 2 standard actions to use. However, it's got more of an oomph to it.
Yeah. Alright, so I'll mark all of these.
I want things to be as consistent as possible across the board.
Yep.
I'm gonna be walking away, but I got wireless headset, so I can still hear.
Yep. Tier 3 effect, obviously, unbreakable. Saying this weapon, armor, yada yada, but specifically weapon, cannot be broken.
I'm good with that.
It has effectively infinite durability. You may in fact use it as a lever all you want. Penetrating. I think this was mostly with this might have been when we were getting into our range section, but for penetrating, this would basically, like, in our mind at the time, this was working like how Squirrel's Tail Axe, I believe, has ignores for physical integrity of the opponent.
Yeah, I'm good with that. We definitely need to come up with a system for... Because right now, coming up against anything that is with a weapon, against anything that has a high physical integrity, you're just not doing anything.
Yeah. To be fair, it's also like that with most physical moves, but that's kind of the point.
Well, yeah, but we don't have a special option for moves like we do, or for weapons like we do for moves. Which I do want to figure something out for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we did have one that we were going to put on for that, but, limited ammo, obviously this is just to go, oh, hey, this is how much you have, like, let's say you have a gun, and it's a revolver, so you would have, like, limited ammo 6. The reload would be, how many standard actions you need to use to reload it. So, like, if you're trying to fire a cannon, it might have reload 4. Or you need to have, like, 2 people spend basically both of their standard actions on each of their turns to reload it. Uh, disorientating, that would be more of a, I'll mark that sort of stuff as blue, where it's like, oh, hey, this is, like, things that are probably just overlap with conditions. Because we're gonna have a couple of those. Deflection, I believe that would be things where it's able to deflect ranged attacks a bit better. Era, I don't remember what our thing was. I know that it was just like, oh, hey, deflection is a keyword we should have. I don't remember if we actually decided what it did. So I'll just leave that for now until he gets back.
Lethal and non-lethal we definitely do not need, because I have put it into the rules as a whole that anything can be lethal or non-lethal depending on how you use it.
Yeah,
You
I think
decide if it
lethal.
is.
I think lethal and non-lethal were more like, this weapon is like locked to this, and you cannot change it.
I'm gonna go with keep it simple and just say
Yeah.
don't worry about that.
Also, Era messaged me saying bonus versus ranged. Although, was that more of a shield thing, or was that just like, oh, hey, I have a deflecting weapon, I can, like, you know, split arrows with my coolest shit katana, whatever.
I'm gonna go ahead and drop down.
Alright.
Alright, we're gonna be finishing up this discussion. I messaged Ninja, but then we'll drop down.
I mean, we're
to
almost
join.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he said it was just a generic thing, so I'll just leave it for now, but I'm just going to assume that we're going to want to figure out a way to make it work so that way people can go, I'm going to use my weapon to knock this arrow out of the air or whatever.
I think we might put in special rules for shields.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, I
they-
was planning on making special ones for shields.
Okay.
I said that earlier, but I don't know if you were there at the time. I don't remember what nullifying and absorption was supposed to be. Sundering was supposed to be that it's better against objects, which would obviously include weapons and things of that nature.
Nullifying and absorption were supposed to be anti-magic. Absorption was basically going to be your lifesteal. Nullifying was basically anti-magic, so you might want to leave those out for now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I figured that they seemed more like keywords that were for like armor and all that, but knockdown. I'm gonna include that as one of the blue ones.
Same with bleeding, blue.
Yep, bleeding is blue.
So what is
exotic
blue?
and blue is like kind of like conditional overlap.
Okay.
Overlap with the condition that can be applied.
Yeah. Yellow is thing we already have. Red is do not include. Blue is we kind of already have this, but like with the status system, the reason I chose blue is because in our rulebook that section is blue. Exotic and common, these were price effectors, I believe.
They were, or for unusual things to the particular setting that you're working in. So
Yeah.
they might have additional. It's the GM's. You can do what you want with this. Rules.
Yeah.
If you're in a setting with that everybody has a dagger and somebody brings in a longsword, that longsword's going to do things probably.
Probably. Draining, that was our lifesteal, I believe.
I think it was another form of lifesteal, but I think it was continuous lifesteal.
Well, the reason why is because I think we didn't have a specific, this is our basic lifesteal thing. Like, I don't think
Maybe.
we have anything called lifesteal. I think draining was our thing for that, where it was like, you know.
Go ahead and mark it in blue one way or the other, because there's a couple of keywords I think that we had crossover with that we never touched again.
Well, lifesteal specifically isn't on weapons anyway, so I'll just, for now, I'll just read that. Blast, that is how weapons would get like an AoE thing. That'd be more for like siege weaponry. But hey, you know, maybe you have like a heavy ranged weapon that has like some blast on it. Or also, I think it was also for things like explosives and grenades and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can keep that for AoE type things.
Yep. Guided was for more futuristic settings, but also was specifically not like, you know, lock on or whatever. So that way you could go, oh, hey, there's a magical guidance to this attack. This would be like, you know, bypass accuracy.
We might want to hold off on that because I don't know if we want to throw bypass accuracy on a weapon. If we did it, we might want to make guided more likely to hit on certain conditions, maybe.
Maybe
like
just
maybe if you
difficulty.
if you take a quick action, reduced get or to study the target or something.
Yep. Prepared / setup is basically just a modifier for like, oh hey, I want to use this gun or ranged weapon or whatever. I must take a certain amount of actions to set it up before it can be used.
Like that.
One-handed and two-handed are already yellowed because that's already based off of the light, medium, and heavy system now. Brace, if I remember correctly, was deflection, but for melee.
Pretty much.
We'll have to change the name, but let's put that there. Knockback, that's a blue. Impact, hack, and impale, those were the like types that you liked the idea of us having.
What are these?
The basically going, oh hey, these are like, this is an impact weapon, so it can have these things on it, like for restricted stuff. This is like, you know.
Oh, so these are bludgeoning, slash, and piercing?
Yeah, yeah. Just by different names, because...
Let's just make them the standard names.
Alright, just say standardize on them. Inverted, Era, I think that was more of a U1. What the hell did this one do?
It was a weapon that appeared to be one thing, but actually was another. So, a trick gun, for instance, where it looks like you're pointing a gun at somebody, but you pull the trigger, but the bullet goes into you instead. It was a trap idea for weapons.
I'm gonna say no on that then. If they want to,
like a lightning blade, but it worked as a rock blade.
If they want to include that, that'll be a storyteller thing. I don't think we're gonna put that in the standard rules.
Flawed and pristine. Is that basically just another way of going superior quality and inferior quality?
No, a flawed weapon would have a higher threshold for critical failures. And a pristine would have a lower.
Okay. So
a flawed gun would fail hard, or would fail at a lesser.
Fail on.
Yeah.
So like it would go, oh hey, 2s are. Okay.
Yes.
I'm good with those on all tiers.
Okay, but it's gonna be expensive.
Flawed might be very cheap.
Well, no, flawed will probably be like, because it would make 2s count as 1s, effectively.
Yeah.
So when it's cheap, it might make it a lot cheaper. God, that's going to be... Someone's going to put that on something and then have so much regret.
Yes, that's why I included it.
Alright, customized... I feel like we kind of don't need that.
Not right now. We can hold off on that one. That one would be for the weird fringe cases, but I don't think we're going to worry about that right now.
Inspiring and terrifying. I'm assuming that this would just give modifiers on, like, some rolls.
Yeah, that gave bonuses to other people who inspiring would give bonuses to your allies if you got like a critical success, and terrifying would apply negatives to your enemies if you got a critical success.
Okay,
I
so
kinda
like
like
if
that.
you critically hit, if you crit the opponent, it does things.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. I'm just gonna say procs on crit, so that way we don't forget that.
Yep. Bane we don't need anymore.
Yeah, we don't. I was about to say Bane we don't need. Elegant and crude. I know those were mostly visual modifiers, but also like would affect. If you're walking up with a crude hammer, you're probably like to a high society thing.
Yeah.
This is more of like a narrative tag, I think.
Yeah, or cost tag.
Yep. Integrated, that one was an important one because it meant that the weapon could be used with strikes.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely keeping that.
Yeah. A grappling
can go
weapon. Siphon. I think Siphon was us putting lifesteal for like the 4th time.
Yeah, probably.
We never
like
called it
lifesteal.
lifesteal because we wanted to. I know we were like kind of half avoiding it, and then
Well,
was
you
just
were
like-
avoiding it. I was perfectly fine with it.
no, I was saying me and Era.
Yeah, we wanted to
Oh.
be unique about it, but
We were being
you know.
we were being fancy, and it bit us. Grappling, was this a weapon that's good for grappling, or a weapon you could use while grappling?
I think initially it was going to cause grappling, but we could easily use it as a weapon that can do grappling, like a
Alright.
bolus. Relay, I just felt like we should have it, but I feel like that could be a possible weapon type where you can hit a second enemy.
Okay, so it's like a chain thing.
Yes.
So like it chains to like the nearest secondary target.
That one, we're gonna keep that with the current existing wordage of additional target.
I just like the word. I was like, we need to use this somehow.
I mean, it is probably a better word, but I do want to make sure that things are as standard as possible.
No, it's fine. Kiss, kiss.
Yep.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
So that'll be a yellow because we already have that.
I think that's all we had so far.
That is.
Right. And that means that Zim&I has to drop.
Yes, go.
Yeah.
Neat.
So yeah, thank you everybody for joining us so far on the stream today. A relatively shorter than I wanted DevTales stream today, but we got some good work in at least, so there's that. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more. There on the website as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that keeps this channel alive and going. I cannot do this without your guys' help and your support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It's one of the best ways to support the channel, though you can also do so by sharing the stream around, as well as coming by, hanging out, picking up packs of cards to stream loots, subscribing to our YouTube, or using our Humble Bundle partner link. But for now, thank you all so much for joining, and I bid you the most fondest adieu.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.